Hi everyone, so today we're building a double barrel grinding rail. So the idea is that we're going to have the two different rails sitting over here and then a piece of wood on this side and a piece of wood on this side for stability. So let's get cracking. I'm cutting everything from a 2.4 by 1.2 meter 18mm plywood, and the first two sections that I'm going to cut is 265mm for the sides of the base. For the second side wall, I'm using the previous cut as a straight edge. On the previous cut I used a piece of aluminium, but I found it to be quite wobbly, so I've switched over to the previous cut for the straight edge. Next cut is going to be for the top of the two bases. So where the two bases are coming together, there must be a section here, and that's basically going to be where the two different pieces of the rail is going to go. So that cut here is 130mm. So when you're cutting, remember to take the size of this dead end on your saw and add that to the value that you're actually trying to cut. The first cut we did was for this side here, the second one for this side here, then we did this cut for this piece over here, and now we're going to do two pieces on top of each other to go in between the two rails. They're going to be 80mm wide. Right, so this is the last long cut that I'm going to do, and that's for the ribs. That's going to keep the shape in between the side cheeks. So I'm going to cut one straight piece. That's the width of the lowest part of the box, and that is 316mm. Okay, so you'll see this time I'm going to cut away this piece, and this is going to become the scrap part, and the piece underneath is actually going to be the section that we're going to use. And now I'm going to take this long cut and I'm going to cut it into the height of that support in the middle, and that's 230mm. So now we're going to cut the sides of these little ribs. So I've already cut this side, and we need 130mm on the middle of the top of the block. So I'm going to cut this section with a jigsaw. With all the pieces cut, it's now possible to see how this is going to fit together. So that's the two sides. There's two sides sitting on top of this the rib section. On top of that, the 130 section, 80mm on top of that. That's going to create a space for the two rails. And now all that's left to do is to glue and screw it all together. So this is the assembled box. I think that's looking pretty good. You'll notice that I had to sand bevels onto the 130mm piece to make it fit in between the two side cheeks. I've also installed 5 ribs on the inside for strength. Base has some paint on it now, and before painting I've rounded all the corners because it hurts a lot less when you hit your head on a blunt corner. I've also drilled holes every 100mm on the side where the rail is going to connect to. So the idea is I'm just going to screw from the back of this base into the rail. The rail that I've chosen is high pressure PVC pipe, and it's got a 4.5mm thickness, so that's going to give us lots of meat to screw into. So both rails are screwed on now, but I have to admit it wasn't as easy as I thought it would be. These pipes aren't straight when you get them, but I found that if you lightly tighten them from the one side to the other side, and then you come back and you retighten the screws a little bit, and you do that over and over, eventually you can get them nice and straight. So that looks pretty good. So only thing left now is to try it out.